This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm Jody Miller-Young, your host. I love turning my listeners onto new brands. And today I'm launching a series called Startup Stories, which I'll be doing periodically on my show. What it is Startup Stories will include brands who have inspirational stories of how they got started and how they're making them work. So for those who've dreamed of being a designer maybe, but you don't know if you can do it, these stories can give you hope and maybe great tried and true tips. For other fashion lovers, these stories will still introduce you to cool brands I love from around the world. So stay tuned for my startup stories on Bark and Swagger. Look for them. Today, for our first one, we'll be visiting with Chien Bleu NY, which is a dog fashion label based in New York City. JY Lee, known as Lee, is a South Korean who fell in love with Manhattan. And in her story, her dream and the right partner made all the difference. We're going to meet Lee, her partner Anita Lee, and learn all about Chien Bleu after a short break from our sponsor. So grab that favorite beverage, get comfortable, and we'll be right back.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with Omega-6, Omega-3, Vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. If you're just joining us, we're meeting JY Lee and Anita Lee of Chien Bleu NY, which is a dog fashion label that caught my eye, based out of New York City. Lee, as JY Lee is called, has a story that inspired me, and I think it'll inspire those of you listening who have a dream to do something completely different than what you know and wonder, can I make it work? So let's meet Lee and Anita and find out more. Hey, Lee. Hey, Anita.
Hi. Hi.
How you girls doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
We're doing great too. So I want to tell people all about what it is that you do. So let's get started, okay? So Lee, can you describe for our listeners what kind of dog fashion you design for Chien Bleu?
Sure. So I am the designer of Chien Bleu NY. So I design t-shirts, sweaters, and coats and jackets using the best quality fabrics for mostly small dogs.
Awesome. And they're so cute too. You know, you can see pictures of what we'll be talking about on the Bark and Swagger page of the Pet Life Radio site. I said earlier in my introduction of you guys that sometimes it takes a dream and a good partner. Anita, you're that piece that was missing for Lee when she met you. Tell us about what you do for her and for the brand.
Having worked in international business development, sales, and marketing for over 9 years, I think I see myself as the arms and the legs for Chien Bleu. And my role is really grow the business and take it to the next level.
Perfect. And you have done some amazing things, which we're going to talk about.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Both of you are inspired, like, of course, a lot of us, by your dogs. Lee, it was your Shiba Inu, Jax, who was an instrumental part of starting Chien Bleu. Tell us about getting Jax and how he inspired you.
So in 2016, I rescued Jax through NYC Shiba Inu Rescue. So he was surrendered by his former family because he had a broken leg. When I met him, I fell in love with him immediately. Probably all the Shiba Inu owners have the same feelings that like Shiba Inus are very weird in a cute way. So
what does that mean?
Yeah, so he was very active and lazy at the same time. and he was acting more like a cat than a dog. Yeah, I really wanted to make something for him that would feel comfortable for sleeping and running both and look stylish like New Yorkers.
Nice, nice. And you did. I love your prints, which we're going to talk about more later, but they are so adorable. Anita, you too. You met Lee via your multi-poo Benji. Tell us that story.
When a conversation starts with Benji, I can never stop.
We can relate. Yes, we can relate.
Yeah, I'm so in love with him. When I met Benji, it was true love at first sight. Benji was only 2.3 pounds when I got him. And it was winter time. It was so cold. I've had a very hard time finding any clothes for him to stay warm. I was on Etsy.com. Then I discovered Lee's shop on the website. Then I contacted her for custom fitting. Because Benji was so small, like I said, I really saw her talent and her passion. So I proposed an idea of working together as business partners. I guess we just clicked. Personally, it was like the magical year for me. I met the love of my life, Benji, and then the best business partner I could ever ask for. It was fabulous.
Wow, very inspirational. It's really all around, an inspiring story. Lee, you came here at 23 from South Korea, and you had no mentor for what you wanted to do, but you loved to draw from a very early age. Tell us what happened when you got here, how you got into the fashion industry.
Yes, so I was born and raised in South Korea. I went to an art school in South Korea studying game design. I worked for a game company. Yeah. And I worked for a game company for about 1 year after the graduation.
This is video games, yeah?
Yeah, video games. And one day I thought about my future. And if I keep working in Korea, probably I'm going to have a stable job and I'm going to get married with a Korean guy and live like everyone else I know. And I just didn't like the fact that I could imagine my future, and it's not going to be that different from what I imagined. So I decided to come to the US because I wanted to challenge myself more, and I wanted to have a more uncertainty in my life. So yeah.
Adventure.
Yes, exactly.
And you chose Manhattan. Tell us, what your impression was of New York City that made you choose that right away.
So before I came to the US, and I searched like different cities and different countries where I could go. And in New York, there were like schools I wanted to go, and there was jobs I wanted to have right after. So I planned everything accordingly. So I thought New York should be my city, for my life.
Absolutely. And you actually went to a school that I went to too, Parsons.
Yeah,
Famous Parsons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful place. Now, after Parsons, you got a job in the fashion business. Tell everybody what you were doing.
Sure. So at Parsons, like right before the summer break, there was a job fair at the school. So at the time, I didn't even know exactly what kind of career I wanted to pursue. Just one thing I knew was I wanted to have a job like related to drawing. So by chance, I got an internship at a textile design company called Tamkuri Design in Manhattan. And they were looking for someone who has a good drawing skills rather than who has a good textile techniques. So we kind of chose each other, and I love to learn new things about fashion and textile there. This is how I got into the fashion industry.
Perfect. And this was for women's fashions, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. But then you also told me when we talked that you wanted to be more entrepreneurial, which fits in perfectly with your wanting more adventure in your life. And you wanted to do something that was more you. You wanted to do you.
Right.
And once again, it was a dog who was your inspiration. Tell us about Oliver.
Sure. So Oliver was my ex-coworker's dog. He was really cute, like toy poodle, and he was like such a mascot at the company, and everyone loved him so much. And it was at the company Christmas party. The owner of Oliver wanted to make a Christmas costume for him to give him just some extra cuteness. And it was nothing like professional, but she drew something on a piece of fabric and made a tank top for Oliver. And yeah, that was the light bulb moment when I realized that, yeah, this is like what I wanted to do. I mean, this is something that could combine everything I learned so far, and plus I'm going to challenge you for like learning new things, like sewing and even more fashion.
That's perfect. And it's so exciting when you have that light bulb moment, right? I mean, I had it when, I was made a dog coat for Sophie, my little puppy that I had gotten, and people kept stopping and saying, "Oh, isn't that cute?" And all of a sudden, when everything comes together in your mind, it's like, wow, it's very exciting, right?
Yeah, it was like really, really exciting. And, like everyone, like all the designers and even all the other people, I mean, they want to, find the job, like a dream job that they love to work and they're really passionate about. So yeah, that moment was pretty, exciting. And yeah, that was really, cool.
The beginning of an adventure. How'd you come up with the name, La Chien Bleu?
So at the time, I wanted to find something that, I didn't even say it until now. My husband is French.
Yes. That makes a big difference.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a big part of my life. And I'm in New York. I wanted to combine something and I love so much, so which is like French and New York. And then my friend, was just talking about this French bulldog. And then French bulldog, is the most popular dog in New York.
Yes, for a few years now.
Mm-hmm. And there was a new breed, like blue French bulldog at the time came out. So I wanted to call it, so Le Chien Bleu means the blue dog in French.
Yes.
So that's how I got this name, Le Chien Bleu.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're going to take a short break for a sponsor, but don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to find out the journey that Lee and then Anita with Lee took to get from there to here. And, for those of you who are interested in being designers, this could be really helpful. Otherwise, it's just a really cool story. So go refresh that beverage and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm Jody Miller Young, your host, and we're here today with Lee and Anita of La Chien Bleu NY, a very cool dog fashion label out of Manhattan. So guys, Lee, you started small on Etsy, where a lot of people start with one pattern you created. And you told me how your knowledge of 3D design from the video gaming industry helped a lot. Tell listeners how you use 3D design for both fit and fabric design and what your process is all about. Because we all know fit, quality of materials, and being cute, of course, are the trifecta of good dog fashion, right?
Oh, yes. So
yes.
From the beginning, I felt it was very natural for me that I already had an understanding of how I can make clothes from a flat fabric. So then I realized that making clothes is very similar to 3D design, actually, so which I studied for a long time in Korea. So I started with one pattern I purchased online. I didn't like the fit at all, so I printed a pattern on paper and started cutting and attaching here and there with tapes on a dog mannequin. After it looked all good on the mannequin, I made the cloth and tested on Jax. and my friends' dogs to see the fit. I also only made a custom fit on Etsy in the beginning to be able to get better understanding of like different dogs have a different sizes.
And body shape.
Yeah. After 1 year of collecting all this data, I came up with the size chart I use right now.
Perfect. And you'll see when you look at the pictures of the dog fashions that Lee creates, the fabric, first of all, looks beautiful. Looks like good quality. The fit is great. You know, oftentimes you will buy these T-shirts for dogs and the arms are really big. You and I talked about that, Lee. They're really big. So, you know, if the dog doesn't get caught up in the big sleeve, it also just doesn't look cute, you know. These sleeves fit perfectly and they look very sort of chic. And as I said, the patterns and the designs that Lee comes up with are really fantastic. And Jax was an integral part of that. And he's a rescue, which we love. How does he inform your designs?
So Jax, as I mentioned before, sometimes he's really active and also like suddenly he becomes really lazy. He wants to fall asleep right away. So whenever I tried some clothes on Jax, I made sure, especially around the armpit of the front legs. So that part is kind of key for me that makes Jax like can run around comfortably and he can also fall asleep and then he's not going to get caught inside of clothes. Yeah.
And it's stretchy enough so that if he wants to run and play, you know, he's got that movement, you know, the body movement that he needs to have in a garment, right?
Yeah, the fabric has to be soft and stretchy, and actually that's not that easy to find in the market.
Not a good quality one all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to fast forward a little bit now. And sometime in 2016, you met Anita, obviously through her dog and through your Etsy shop, and that changed everything. Anita, tell us you told us how you met Lee, right?
Yes.
But tell us what your expertise is, what you brought to the table, and how you did it.
I was born and raised in China, moved to Canada 13 years ago, then came to US in 2016. I'm really a business development, sales and marketing kind of gal. Art itself, I think it's priceless. And her creations in my eyes are priceless. Beyond all the other designers, she's the best designer in my opinion, and that's no joke. This is real from the bottom of my heart.
The best partner to have, right there.
I needed to sort of let Lee's design shine through and using business practices to gain tangible and intangible values. Really, my job is to let other people to see it the way they would understand it. Sort of using business languages to translate into different practices and different activities and get Le Chien Bleu New York out there and benefit from an operating business standing point.
And tell us a couple of the ways in which you are doing that.
I think it's going to be funny to say, but I'm a hunter. I hunt for businesses. Sounds very aggressive, but this is what I'm good at it. Nordstrom, for example, was a direct result from a cold call. You know, one day.
Amazing people. Nordstrom. I mean, that is pretty cool for a new label.
Thank you so much. It's just that way Lee and I were talking on the phone saying that I said I want big retailer chains to carry our products. And I said, well, how about Nordstrom? She said, okay. Then I just picked up the phone and called customer service, the 1-800 number, and then get the buyer's information, got them interested. I guess it's like when you really want something, you will make it work. And this is my case. I really wanted a Nordstrom to carry our products. I just called and got it.
You're amazing. Congratulations. That's really great work because it is not easy, believe me. But that's true. So you've got to be diligent. You've got to have that one part aggressive and one part, nice and focus and have a great product. At the end of the day, you can be as aggressive and talented a salesperson as anything, but if the product isn't good, it's not going to work. So you got to have a great
Exactly.
So you've got to take the time to make sure you develop a great product.
Right.
But that is phenomenal. So, now I want to sort of take a little bit of time to talk about the patterns, Lee, that you create. They're very original. They're very stylish. What are your inspirations for these designs? And again, you can see some of them on the Bark and Swagger page of the Pet Life Radio site.
Yeah, so I always try to keep my eyes open for new ideas. So I follow fashion shows, even old ones and new ones. I collect lots of images on Pinterest. And sometimes I'm inspired by art and illustrations.
Wonderful. So, Lee, let's take 3 of the designs, let's say, that you created. And, what was your inspiration for those? Sicily, Bengal, and let's say Cassis. Mm-hmm. Love those 3.
So actually, these 3 designs are from famous designers from fashion shows. And obviously, I don't want to just copy things from famous brands. So I look at them and then I understand the theme of it. And I also research again, for example, Bengal, it's tiger, Asian old tiger prints. So I searched all the Japanese paintings and Chinese paintings. And then I started so I only get the theme of the concept.
Yeah.
And then I collect my own reference and I draw from there.
Very cool. And the other 2, any kind of story behind them?
So Sicily, for example, that's from kind of, a southern Italy. Somehow people have this kind of tiles in the kitchen there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that's how I get all these images from a Pinterest. That's why I have to collect a lot of images all the time.
Yeah.
So when I come up with this kind of concept, I need to find really nice images of this kind of tiles and I have to create new ones from it.
Yeah, it's so funny. It really, inspiration comes from anywhere. And that's really, it just, once again reiterates that idea that it really does come from anywhere. Thank you for sharing those with us, Lee. So ladies, what's next for the brand in your quest for world domination?
I will answer this question.
Okay.
Sky is the limit, really. We are capable of shipping products worldwide. We are going to release spring and summer 2019 collection very soon, and some limited edition collections. Ooh. Very exciting, yeah.
Yes.
So I guess for all the listeners, follow us on Instagram for more updated information.
Perfect. Tell people how to find you on your social and your site URL as well.
So you can find us on Google. You can Google ChienBleuNY.com. It's LeChienBleuNY.com. And also we have Instagram accounts at Chien Bleu NY. LeChienBleuNY.
Perfect. Will you give us a little heads up when you're about to release these new designs, please?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I would love to let people know. So stay tuned for that. And ladies, thank you so much for your time today and for turning people on to your beautiful brand. And we wish you much success in developing the brand. And I'm sure you're going to do great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And thank you all for listening. Thanks to our producer, Mark Winter. Mark, you make us sound so good, and we love you for it. My passion is living stylishly in animal rescue. So tune in next time to discover the designers, home decor, styles, and rescue stories I love. And don't forget to visit me at barkandswagger.com, where you'll find great fashion, shelter stories, and more. So until next time, when fierce fashion calls, bark and swagger.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.